We're on time. I think everybody's pretty situated. Everybody who's coming is coming. Did you guys enjoy your last session? Yes. Good. And there's more to come. 2 more still. So today, you guys all, did everybody get a handout? Everybody has a handout. Okay. This is what we're going to kind of go over today, which goes along with my talk this morning about daily actions in your business, and things that you can do to take your business to the next level. So when we talked about earlier focused actions are what are going to drive your revenue in your business. And so I used to be scattered all over the place. I don't know if you're like me. My day would start off like I would be in one room and I'd be doing something, and then I'd be like, oh, this needs to go to the next room. And then I'd get to the next room and then I'd be like, oh, this needs fixed. So then I get stuck here in this room and I completely forgot what I even came into that room for. And then I'm like, next thing I know, oh, this needs to go here. And then I'm like, I'm in the kitchen, and then I'm like, oh, we gotta figure out dinner. So then I'm like working on dinner. And then what I originally started to do to work my business never actually got done. Next thing I know, I'm cooking dinner, my kids are home, and I'm like, where the hell did today go? I don't even know. So that was my day. Day in and day out. It's okay, this is loose, so I'll fix it. Day in and day out, that was my day. And so when I was a hairdresser, a cosmetologist, I worked by a schedule. I had everybody scheduled in from the time they were coming for their appointments, and I never strayed. And so when I thought, what am I going to do in my Scentsy business, I had to apply what I had lived by for the last little bit to my business. So I actually schedule my day now, not quite hour by hour, but pretty darn close. And so this action sheet has helped me so very much in my business, because your goal today is actually to fill this out. And you don't have to fill it out completely today, but let's start with the date and your name on the top. We'll take baby steps. I'm just kidding. So start with your name and the date, or the date on the top. You don't have to put your name. What's this week's goal? What would you like to accomplish this next week, Monday through Friday? What's the one thing in your business that you want to do? Hopefully you put on there, make a customer list. I'm just kidding. Like, go over some of the stuff we've already done. But I prepare this sheet the night before, and Diane is going to load it up on a link where you can print more of these. So you'll have extras you can print. But what I talked about is focus on actions that build your business. And so I prepare this sheet the night before. And what I talked about earlier, the 6 most important things to do today. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So sometimes that I need to call a customer, I need to close a party order. I need to follow up with Susie, the hostess, because her party's in 2 weeks, and I need to see how everything's coming along with her. Maybe I need to send a thank you packet to a customer who ordered online. Or I need to mail out my new catalogs now to my customers. Another thing that would be on my to-do list was if I had a doctor's appointment. You can't really miss those. Or if my kids have to be shuttled somewhere, that would be on this list too. Sometimes I make a list just for personal, but most of the time my personal and my business lives mixed together. So.
You said mailing catalogs. How much does it cost to mail catalogs?
Mailing catalogs depends on what you put in there. So it's anywhere from $1.16 to $1.86 to mail a catalog.
I just wondered, because I thought about mailing some out, but I didn't know how.
It's a substantial. I only mail catalogs to my VIP customers. That's really somebody who has spent $100 with me in the last 6 months. Anybody who's spent $25 or more, they get a postcard that says, contact me if you want a catalog, or place an order, and then I'll mail it to you. Yeah.
Called a showcase brochure.
You can do a showcase brochure. That's cheaper to mail.
An add-on stamp, and that's it. I mean, this one.
I think a showcase brochure you can send with 1 stamp, which is 49 cents. No, is 70 cents. Yeah, because it's over an ounce. It goes by weight. So I think one of the best investments that you can make in your business is one of those little scales. Like I got mine at Sam's Club for like $8, and it's a 5-pound scale, and it's a mailing scale. It even has the list of how much, you know, it is. If it weighs this much, it costs this much. You just have to print online when they change the postage prices. But I use that scale day in and day out. I weigh my letter. If it's a 1.1 ounce, it's going to cost me 71 cents to mail. And so, and as long as it's not more than a 1/4 inch thick, you can mail it for the, you know, first class mail price. If it's thicker, if it's a big padded envelope, then it's a package price, and you have to look online for those package prices. But so I have on here, on this list, I need to call, remember how we talked about following up. So are there 5 customers that you can follow up with? So on this list, I will fill out my customer's name and their phone number so that I have that on my list ready to go. I have no excuse not to call and do my 222 follow-up with my customers because their name and phone number are right on here. And then I just check them off. That's what that lovely little box is there, so that you can check them off when you're done. If you have a downline, you want to touch base with your front line, with your team members, you can put their 3 team members. We just put 3 on there, but you could call more than 3. But I'm trying to do something doable that you can do every single day. And you can make phone calls. One of the things that I've done, if I don't have a lot of time, there's a great thing called Sly Dial. It's SLYDIAL. Sometimes I transpose letters, so then I was like dial, right? D-I-A-L, yeah. So Sly Dial, it takes you straight to their voicemail, and you can leave a message. So if you're really pressed for time and you're just praying to God nobody answers the phone because you really need to just leave a message and to check in with somebody, you can use Sly Dial to call, leave a message, and just say, hey, it's Carol, your Scentsy person. I'm just so excited. I wanted to let you know, like I do it for my downline sometimes because I don't have time to like chat because maybe I'm on my way into a doctor's appointment and I literally have 5 seconds. And I'm just calling and I'm like, hey, I just want to let you know your sales last month were amazing. Angela, can't believe what you did last month. You knocked it out of the park. Just want to let you know that I'm your #1 fan. We'll talk to you soon. Bye. Right, click. Yeah. I was like, oh man, I don't know, no idea what happened there. No, went straight to your voicemail. I don't know. It went straight to voicemail. I am not lying because it did go straight to voicemail. So I don't even say that. And no one has ever questioned. Well, somebody has said, oh, my phone never even rang. I'm like, I have no idea why that happened. Mine does that too all the time. You know. It's an app on your phone. Yeah, that you can use on your phone. And you can only make 3 or 5 calls a day, so you can only do this for a limited people. Otherwise, you have to pay, I think. But I use their free service. It's fantastic. And then sometimes it doesn't work on some phones, so it'll tell you if it doesn't work. But I love it for calling people. So call 5 prospective recruits. So you want to put anybody who's been talking about. So like yesterday, I've been meaning to call this lady named Lori. She's in West Virginia. She wants to join because her consultant is quitting. And I talked to her at the end of last month, and I told her she should wait until the 1st to sign up so she could get both kits and be ready to go. And I don't usually recommend that, but literally it was 3 days until the 1st. So I did not want her to join, then have 3 days later have to buy new stuff for her kit. So I just said, please, here's your options. I would encourage you to wait until the 1st. She said, okay, I'll sign up on the 1st. Well then, she hasn't signed up yet. So now I'm like, oh crap, did I just screw the pooch and not, get a recruit? But I realized that, so I called, and I've been meaning to call her. So yesterday, I'm just calling her, right? So I have to do it because it's been on my list, but I've been putting it off. And then traveling to here, I was like, I just have to call her. So I called her yesterday, she answers the phone. And I could tell she's like, hello? Really hesitant. And I'm like, hi Lori, it's Carol, I'm so sorry. I was like, hey, do you have a minute? I was just calling to see, are you still interested in joining? I noticed are you slide dialing somebody right now? Okay, fantastic. And so I'm trying to see I just called to see if you're still interested in joining. I just noticed you hadn't shown up on my workstation. I haven't got an email. And she's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to try to do it this weekend. And I was like, oh, I hate the word try, but it's okay, you know. I'm like, oh, okay, perfect. I said, were you busy last weekend? And she's like, yeah, we went to the lake. And I'm like, oh, how fun is that? Did you have a nice time? So I just started having a conversation, not talking about joining, but, you know, and it was so funny. Then she just totally relaxed out. Like, I think she thought I was going to call and pressure her into joining. And at the end of the call, it was just a completely different tone. She's like, no, really, I'm going to try to do it this weekend. And I said, you know, you have till the end of the month. I'm totally fine with it. I just wanted to check on you and see if you had any issues with the website. She's like, oh, I appreciate you calling. So it was, you know, at the first, I think she's had people hound her before. And so then by the end of the call, it just felt really good. But again, she was on my list. And if she hadn't been on my list, I would have keep forgetting to call her. And so I'm hoping she joins. By the end of the month, we'll see. All right, I did screw the pooch, so we'll see. Write 3 notes to prospects, hosts, or consultants. So I am really big on this. I do a lot of handwritten notes. How many of you have purchased something and a couple weeks later get a handwritten note from the salesperson thanking you? Not very often, but a few of you have. And how do you feel when you get it? Wow. Wow, that chick. The chick remembered the $1,800 furniture purchase I made, right? Thank you, at least, you know, that was an expensive bedroom set. So at least she sent me a thank you card, right? So if you sent your customers a thank you card for spending $25 with you in the mail, with a stamp on it, a hand addressed to them, how do you think your customers are going to feel? They're going to be like, wow, my last Sensei consultant didn't do that. Oh my gosh. Now, sometimes I include a handwritten note in their order, like when I'm doing a party order, because especially if there's like 10 people, but I really try to get their email, to get their addresses, get all their information on the order forms, and then I'll mail them a card later, because then that also gives me an opportunity to say, hey, why don't you host your own party so you can get the benefits next time. When you decide, or if you know someone, you know, please send out my name, and I'll put 3 or 5 business cards in with the card so that they can be my raving fan, so that they can actually refer people to me. So don't be hesitant to mail stuff to people. It's a small investment. You can get those little blank note cards at Walmart, at Target, at the dollar store. You know, just get the blank ones that say thank you on the front, and then write everything on the inside, and then stick your card in there. And you can even throw a sample in the card. If you make it real flat, you can mail it same as with just one stamp. You know what I mean? So start thinking about who can I write notes to. And when you have a downline, when you have a team member, and they place their first order for the first time, you can, you know, send them a card that says, man, you rock that workstation. I didn't even have to help you. You rock, you know, and thanks. And you're making my job easier, and I'm making money off of you. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. Don't ever do that. But then, you know, that's what I'm thinking when I licked the envelope. I was like, money. So, but you're, for real, right? You're like, whew, I love new consultants that just do stuff on their own. But, you know, why not send a note card to thank you? Have you gotten something like that from your sponsor? Has anybody here got something? A few of you? A few of you are like, no, man, I wish. But no. So, errands for the day. Put anything you have for errands on this sheet. I mean, I've got to go to the store, maybe I got to go to the post office and get stamps, maybe I've got to go get paper for my printer or ink, you know, I mean, maybe I just have to remind myself, well, I put on here pick up kids, and I even have an alarm in my phone, pick up Jacob, which is my youngest, because I'm notorious for getting to work, like working in my office. And then next thing I know, oh crap, I was supposed to be in the pickup line. I'm at the end of the pickup line. And poor Jacob's standing there like, I saw your car from a ways back. I knew you were coming for me. And I'm like, yes, I'm coming, buddy. That's a good part about the Marty Mobile. You can see that sucker for a mile. So he knows I'm in the line and just, you know, not going to be there for a while. So set reminders. Use this phone to your advantage. Set yourself reminders. If you fill out your action sheet, set yourself a reminder at noon, like do action sheet, because until it becomes a habit, you'll forget. You'll forget to use this sheet. So I set my phone reminders. And then if you have any callbacks for the day, so let's say a few days ago you tried calling some people and you didn't get a hold of them, You couldn't leave a message even either. They'll go on this sheet. So I print out multiples of these and I have them on there and I have them listed by the days. So then if I have to move somebody onto another list, they're on there. And then you just have notes. We always need notes. So you can hole punch these, put them in a binder. You can wad them up and trash them when you're done with them. But I just find I run my business so much better when it's written down. When I have a game plan, I have a GPS route of like, where do I need to go? What do I need to do? And so is this something that you guys can see yourself using?
Yes.
Yeah. And do you think you would be more productive using this? Yeah. I tell you, it's probably the best. So if there's something on the list I don't complete, it goes on the next list for the next day. And then if I procrastinate and I don't finish it, it's on the list for like 2-3 weeks. But it's still on my list. So, and you can have, now I have a notebook, I didn't bring it, it's similar to this one, just the little 10-center one that you can get. But I have like a to-do list that is probably the entire, how many pages are in here? 50, I don't know, 100 pages. I have a to-do list of 100 pages. If I feel extra motivated or I'm on fire and I can complete this list, then I'll go to my master list and pick out something else off of here. Or I'll just prop my feet up and watch TV for the rest of the day. But at least I feel really great. So now how many people have a calendar? Y'all have a calendar, like an actual planner, physical planner that you work out of? Okay, is this your Bible? Sure is mine. So for me, in addition to these sheets, well, these sheets are usually in here. And the nice part about, we had this made, so it has some stuff, but you'll see on my, not on this one, no, August, I'm not a great forward-hand planner. Okay, so this was one of my days. So I put things in here and then I check them off, right? I was gonna be on the cruise, I had a call, I had to do sensational start, like I mark off if I left off somewhere. Because, you know, I send sensational start postcards to my downline. And I stop, because I only send for that month, so then I write who I stopped with. And so then you gotta pick that back up. I do a sales drawing, I have reports that I pull. And so these are just things that make me super efficient, because when you think about it, I'm running an organization. I'm running a multi-million-dollar company. And you may be small now, but there will be a day where you're going to have $1 million in group sales every month. And you're going to have to figure out, how do I reward these people, or what do I do? And I don't do anything that's like super crazy. I send out a lot of postcards and emails. It's really recognition and recognizing your downline for the things that they do in this business. But if I didn't have it in a planner, I wouldn't do this. So you can do this in just a regular notebook, but what I think is amazing is sometimes we lose track of our journey. We lose track of like where we started versus where we end. And I log into my workstation, and on the performance tab, every day, I log my numbers. So I write how many people are in my group, how many people are in my team, how many active frontline I have, what my PRV is. It's all on there. If you pull up your home performance tab, it's just the whole thing. Oh, so, well, let me tell you. So today, as of August 8th, I have 6,696 in my group. I have 406 in my team. Today I have 12 active frontline. I have 7 frontline directors. I have 1,071.15 in PRV already. And my team volume is at $10,284.54. My group is at $155,648.99. Woo! Yeah, as of today, 8 days into the month, we are doing well. I have 126 frontline, which is who I personally were sponsored. So for example, on 8/2, we had 6,594. That means we've added 100 people in 6 days to our group. I had 401 team members, so I have 5 new team members. I had 5 active frontline. I had no PRV. It's okay, I had a slow start. I didn't get my orders in until the 3rd. But,
Me too.
I had $2,019.82 in team wholesale volume because I had some people who were really on the ball the first of this month. And $27,504 in group wholesale volume. So, when you think about it, when you see, like, I might think we're having a bad month, but then when I look at where we were 6 days ago, we're having a rocking month.
Yeah.
And if I look at month, and so if I keep track, if I start doing this year after year, I can go back and look at the 2nd of October in 2013, and I can see, are we growing or are we shrinking? How is my group doing? Are we selling more by the first few days of the month? Are these diffusers really kicking in for those that got to go to convention? Reunion, sorry. 7-3, like last month, we had 6,145 consultants, and we ended with, on 7-13, 6,904.
Wow, that's awesome.
We added over 800 last month.
Awesome.
We started off on the 3rd with 7,200 in sales for my group and 135,000 for group, 7,000 for team. I ended with 43,000 in team and 775,000 in group, which ends up being is 1.2 million in retail sales last month.
Wow, that's good.
So that's when you start being able to track, you're like, oh, I just love numbers. And if you don't love numbers, you will learn to love numbers by the end of this. Okay, so my friends have been really good about doing this for years, and they're like, you need to track it. And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So this year was the first time I started tracking, like for real. So I got the top row and part of the 2nd row in January. And then in February, I got 3 more columns from the last month, I tracked a little bit more. Then in March, I got 1 more column. I got down in the 3rd row this month of traffic because that was really horrible. All right, I was practicing tracking. And then this month I only got 2 in because I think I was sidetracked. So, and now in May I'm in the 3rd row again. So I'm feeling really productive and very good at this. And then this one is June. In June, I got all the way to the 4th row. So, and I had different colored inks this time because I just couldn't find the same pen. And then here again in July. So I feel like I'm really getting better at this, and it took me 7 months to get better. So I say just start now. Even if you track where you are at the beginning versus where you are at the end, because when you run your performance reports on the workstation, you only see that month as a whole. You don't see where you were. If you could only track certain days, I would track the 1st, the 15th, and like the day before the last day. Like, where are you at in those 3 times of the month? If that's the only days that you can remember, set yourself a reminder, hop on the workstation in the morning, and write down your numbers. But just get in the habit of writing them down. You could also write them down every single day on this list on your notes section. And then you could hole punch them, put them in a binder, and move them to, they have this really cute little planner. It is so too tiny for me. It's like 5 years. What's it called?
Oh my goodness.
5-year planner. And all it has are the days. It's like a book. It's like this thick, but it's this tiny, and I cannot even write that small. Like, I'm barely making it in these teeny tiny squares. But you can go from, it has day 1 and it has 5 years. So you could actually use that little planner to put your numbers in, so then you can see on day 1, here's 5 years worth of data. I have bought that book. My plan is to get 5 years of data and then transfer it into there. So then I can
Oh my gosh.
see. Because me, I love seeing how far I grow. I love seeing, okay, here's where we were. So the flip side of that is when the company decides to not cancel people.
Yeah.
And then you get up to like, I don't know, maybe 16,000 in your group. Now you're down to 6. Little slop side depressing. When you're like, oh man, I was at this and now I'm down here. But in essence, when we lost over half our consultants when they finally started doing
Yeah.
terms again, I realized that other half number didn't mean anything because they were not producing. They were just sitting there clogging up my report. Is that harsh? You'll come to find I say it how it is.
I can relate.
For the most part. So you'll come to find I'm like, oh, whatever. But if you haven't been able to use your workstation, to its full potential, that performance tab, when you click Run Downline Report, you can click additional filters and you can sort out people. So you can put minimum PRV 0.01, gets rid of all your zeros. You don't see any people that that do not have sales each month, because really, in my book, if you don't have sales, you don't have sales. And you don't register on my reports. So I want, because honestly, I want to teach my teams to be active every month. If you are using this sheet and following up with your customers, if you are using our product in your home, you can do $150 every single month. I need 3 tubs of laundry stuff, laundry liquid. I don't use the dryer just as much because they clunk and drive me crazy. But I have 10 minutes. Okay. And I was like, okay. Oh my God, I got so much more. No, I'm just kidding. I don't. But I need laundry stuff. I need hand soap for my bathroom. Now I'm going to need kitchen counter cleaner, because let me tell you, that stuff works for everything. It worked for my laptop too. I was like, man, maybe I won't get fingerprints if I keep rubbing on this. But it's good for toilets. It's not just for kitchens. I'm hoping the pee will just flake off the toilet seat eventually. Like, I'm never going to have, because it says it builds up on a solid surface. Yeah, I know, right? I'm like, I need something. Maybe the soap scum will just flick its way off my shower too. But, oh man, I totally lost my train of thought. Okay, so if you're using Scentsy in your own home, I go through I have, 12 warmers in my house. I go through 6 bars of wax every week when I change my wax. I told you I was going to go in the poorhouse. I spend $100 in wax. Let's see. And then $80 in washer whiffs and $30 in soap, because Grandma uses a lot of soap. I was like, man, I do not know what you do in there. But she uses soap. We have to have room sprays for every bathroom. Again, a must. When I think about stocking my house, I'm like, it's a $500 party. Easy. Not to mention gifts and other things I need to give out. Every child that my children are invited to a birthday party, they get a buddy. And I learned the hard way, because one time I was like, oh, we'll go to the store and let them pick out something, right? Well, then they get there, they're like, oh man, I thought we were going to get a buddy. And I was like, well, hey, give that back, and I'll go return it, because I still got the receipt, and I'll run home and get you a buddy. So I just decided after that, every kid would get a buddy. And I don't care if they already had one, I just try to hopefully keep track, so I don't give them the next one the next time we are invited to a party. But with this limited edition, I can pretty much guarantee now they are not going to get the same buddy. But every birthday party, that's what they get, a scent pack. And I don't even care, I just pick a scent pack. If they don't like it, I'll exchange it. But I like to do like the tropical, like Paradise Punch and Havana Cabana. I did use Happy Birthday, but man, that thing really stunk. I'm not so happy. I didn't think anyway. But, so, and I don't even wrap the buddy box. I got Raffida. What, is that what it's called? Who's the crafty people? I don't know. Raffia. I'm sorry, Raffida. I got Raffia and mesh, right? The Deco mesh. Yeah, thank you. Thank God for some Hobby Lobby stuff. Anyway, and I just tied stuff on the top. I pop out the handles. Did you know all the buddy boxes have a handle? So I pop out the handle, wrap that stuff around there, and I tape the card to the side of the box. Happy birthday. And then it's advertising the entire time that it's on the table for me. I'm wearing my Ask Me About Scentsy shirt at the birthday party, because I don't care. I am shameless. And I'm parked out in the parking lot in my Scentsy mobile. If you haven't figured out there's a Scentsy person around here, then I am sorry. I don't think I should know you. Right? That's my philosophy on the whole thing. But If you use it, you sell it, you give it away, you're going to have a thriving business. You'll be able to order every single month. You'll be able to be active. You set the example also for your team. So by you using your daily action sheets, following up with customers, you teach your team to do the same, and they will do it as well. So I'll open it since we just have a few more minutes. Does anybody have any questions?
I just wanted to give you a comment with, the gifts and stuff.
Yeah.
Some of your frontline said, I can't get $150 today, and it's like, do they help me get, or 2 weeks before Christmas, but, the charm is when a kid, because that's all I get from wedding gifts now is, and I know you can mess with the norms or whatever, but I did I had a person, in another town that I next morning, and
Yeah.
I did their initial.
Yeah, you can put their name on there. Well, technically you're supposed to give it to them. So give it to your friend, let her put it on, and then you just, hand it over. Because technically you're not supposed to put it on.
Sometimes some of my friends are not real practical.
There's always ways around that. No, your friend that does the vinyl, I was saying just make her put it on the warmer. Yeah.
You were talking about mailing thank yous to customers.
Mailing thank yous.
How far back does one go?
You know,
Them pretty soon, right?
I work, oh yeah, well I forgot. Like I lost track where I was at one time because when I had my surgery, pain meds will do weird things. Like you think you did something, but then you're like, oh, I did not do that. So I had surgery, so it was about 6 weeks. And then I sent a thank you card. And I was honest on the card. I was like, man, I'm sorry, I've been on high on pain pills. So, I think you can feel me when I say I'm very sorry. I mean, but not sorry. Yeah, I usually do within 1 to 2 weeks. I want it to arrive, so I used to do it the day after they ordered online, because I have a lot of onlines. I used to travel and do shows, and I work really hard on making a relationship with the customer when they're in my booth. And so they continue to order from me after I'm gone. And so I used to send it out the day after they ordered, or within a couple days, but then they'd text me, hey, I just got this package and it was not what I ordered. And I was like, okay, that's your thank you gift. It is not what you ordered, because it was just randomly what I pulled out of my office. But, like I'd send them a hand cream or something, depending on the size of the order. So now I wait until they're right before their order is delivered. When I see it shipped, then I'll go in and I'll put their thank you together. And so it kind of arrives about the same time. So, but sometimes shipping is like next day. So, I just keep an eye on the workstation. Plus I send them a message to say, hey, good news, your order shipped, here's your tracking number. Because if you copy and paste the tracking number now, it sends that same encoded link to their phone or to their email where they just click on it and then it shows that UPS page. So I let them know when it's going to be delivered and I say, here, check this so you can see the exact day it's coming.
So I think expanding on her question,
Yeah.
how far, if you started tomorrow, how far back
Oh,
do you think we could go without?
you could do all of July. I would say go through all of July with a thank you if you were going to do that. You could go back 6 months if you were going to want to invest in mailing them a new catalog. And then you could put a card in there saying, you seriously are one of my VIP customers. I want you to have the first glance at our new catalog. Like, thank you so much for your previous purchase. I really appreciate it. And then let them have the new catalog. So I go back 6 months. And anyone who has spent $25 or more with me, because I kind of feel like if they're going to buy 6 bars, they'll have lots of people to buy 1 bar, 2 bars, 3 bars. I found all of those purchases they buy from another consultant. Mm-hmm. That's been my 100%, or if they just come to me for light bulbs. But if they spend $25 or more, they buy a warmer from me, they're generally my customer, and they're going to stay my customer. And so $25 or more is the only way they get a catalog from me, previous 6 months of sales. Yeah. And I just go online and figure that out. Somebody else have a question? Yes, I'm sorry, in the back.
I didn't necessarily have a question, but I was going to expand upon what you were saying with the mailing the thank yous.
Yeah.
I have a busy, crazy, hectic work schedule during the day,
Yep.
and so I get a lot of online orders. And so what I do is I keep a stack of envelopes in my bag, and so when it pops up and it tells me I got a new order, I immediately write their name and their address on an envelope, and then that way, at the week or the day of the week when I go to the post office, all I have to do is grab the envelope and go, oh yeah, I gotta send her a thank, she ordered from me. That reminds me to send that thank you note.
Yeah.
So it's like my on-the-go thank you.
Yep. And you can take a package of thank you notes. If you get the ones that are in a box, I like the ones that have a box. You know what I'm talking about. Well, if you don't, you'll figure it out when you get to the store. But there's a thank you box. There's a box of blank thank you cards. You can go through and just say thank you. You can pre-write them. Thank you so much for your purchase. Leave spot at the top for their name. Pray to God you have the same color pen, because I did that one time. I like wrote them all out, and then I was like, dang, I do not have that. I wrote in purple. Couldn't find a purple pen to save my life. I was like, what? And so yeah, so their name was in black, and then because I had to get them out, so I didn't have time to go to the office store and buy another purple pen. But so now I use only blue or black because I can find that anywhere. I can even steal one from the bank. That same time, I steal it from the bank, but I can borrow it and I'll bring it back next week. The hotels have them too, right? Yeah. But I just went through the box and I wrote, "Thank you so much for your order. I really appreciate your business." And then after a while, I also got postcards that said that, and then I just had to write their name and sign my name at the bottom. So may not be as personable, but they still liked it. I put my picture on them. And then, I can write a thank you card, personalizing like what they ordered. I really hope you enjoy your laundry liquid. And then it goes in the mail. Because it's not the amount of words, it's the thought. And it's the handwritten part that makes it special. So, but if you have these, put them in the box, they stay nice looking. Then you just pull it out, write their name on it, sign your name, fold it up, stick it in the envelope with a catalog. And then I always have scent circles. I have hand creams for $25, well actually I do $50 or more, I give them a hand cream. Anything less than that, they get a scent circle and a laundry and a washer with sample. So that goes in all my thank yous, and that's what they get. So, but yeah, anything you can do ahead of time while you're sitting there watching TV at night. We watch America's Got Talent. I'm filling out note cards. I'm like, all right, I'm writing stuff. My kids love to watch it. They're like, whoa, did you see that? I'm like, no, thank God for TiVo. Rewind it. So then, we work. That's how we work in our household. My kids love it. My kids will help stuff things. They'll lick all the envelopes. I was like, I have paper cuts like a couple times on my lip, and I'm like, I am not licking anything anymore. My kids will lick anything for an ice cream cone. So they're all over it. Anybody else? Any other questions? I think my time's up. So thank you guys, and I hope that you will fill out your action sheet and keep working on it, because you guys can do this. It's amazing. Good business.